Have you ever felt like someone was watching you, even when you were completely alone? This is the story of a man who thought his new apartment was a fresh start, but instead, it became his final nightmare. If you think your home is safe, wait until you hear what happened behind his locked door. Daniel was 32 when he moved into the apartment on the edge of the city. He had just broken up with his girlfriend, quit a job he hated, and told himself that starting over in a quiet neighborhood would fix everything. The building was old, built in the 1960s with cracked hallways and faded paint. But it was cheap, and more importantly, it was his. The landlord, an older man with pale eyes, had smiled when Daniel signed the lease. "Not many tenants stay long," he had said. Daniel thought it was a joke. The first few nights were peaceful. Daniel unpacked boxes, set up his computer, tried to ignore the creaks in the walls. He told himself all old buildings made noises. But then things began to change. The first incident was small. One morning, Daniel woke to find his bathroom mirror fogged up, even though he hadn't showered. Written across the glass in smeared letters were the words, "I see you." He froze. He lived alone. He wiped the words away and laughed it off, maybe leftover steam from the previous night, maybe some weird residue. But deep down, his stomach twisted. That night, he heard whispers, soft, like someone talking in the next room. He checked his phone. No videos playing. He turned off his laptop. The whispers continued, floating through the apartment walls. When he pressed his ear to the wall, they stopped. Over the next week, the noises grew louder. Footsteps in the hallway outside his apartment at 3 in the morning. Knocks at his door, but when he opened it, no one was there. One night, Daniel fell asleep on the couch. At 2:47 a.m., he woke to the sound of his front door unlocking. He sat up, heart pounding, watching the handle turn slowly. The door creaked open, but no one entered. He ran to the door, slammed it shut, locked it 3 times. His hands shook so badly he could barely twist the key. The next day, he asked a neighbor, a woman in her 60s, if anyone else had keys to his unit. She looked at him pale and whispered, "You should move out before it's too late." Daniel began noticing shadows in the corner of his vision. They weren't like normal shadows. They bent unnaturally, stretched across walls, and lingered long after he turned his head. He set up his phone to record while he slept. In the morning, he scrolled through the footage. At 3:14 a.m., his bedroom door opened on its own. A dark shape moved across the room, closer to his bed, and then the screen went black. His phone battery had died, though it had been fully charged. Daniel's dreams grew violent. He saw himself standing in the hallway of the building, watching a woman scream as unseen hands dragged her into the darkness. He woke drenched in sweat, claw marks burning across his chest. The next day, he lifted his shirt in the bathroom mirror. The scratches were real. Terrified, Daniel searched the building's history online. He discovered that 20 years earlier, a woman had been murdered in his apartment. Her body was never found. Some said she had been taken, pulled into the walls themselves. He wanted to move, but his bank account was empty. He told himself he could survive a few more weeks just until his next paycheck, but the apartment wasn't going to let him leave. On his last night alive, Daniel called his friend at midnight. His voice was frantic, almost hysterical. "They're inside," he whispered. "I can see them moving. The walls are breathing." The call ended with a loud crash. His friend drove over immediately, but when he arrived, Daniel's apartment was empty. The front door hung open. The only thing left behind was Daniel's phone, still recording. On the screen, in the last seconds of footage, Daniel can be seen standing in his living room. His eyes are wide with terror. Behind him, a dark figure taller than the ceiling stretches across the wall. The video ends as Daniel is yanked backward into the shadows. His body was never found, and some say, if you walk past that apartment late at night, you can still hear his screams. If this story made you shiver, imagine what's still out there waiting to be told. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more terrifying stories, and share this with a friend who dares to watch it at night.